You're with Julian on the Brown Note, and why was 2021 the worst year for art this century? I do every year on my radio show, I do my albums of the year, my tracks of the year, and my films of the year, and it's always the same story. I can only fit so much into a 2-hour show, so I try and get it down to like 25 albums or something, or 30 albums, and truncate everything. And normally I'm just like whittling down lists to fit them in. But this year I was trying to fill the lists. It's been a remarkably poor year. I've had my own thoughts about the way that art is appreciated now over the last sort of... Broadly speaking, I think that initially we started believing in the story of the artist over the art when we started appreciating artists who were drunkards, who had, come from ne'er-do-wells. At one point, we dismissed their art, and now we've gone into this stage of worshipping people because they were an alcoholic or something like that, or a drug addict, or they died young, or, so the badness of their past. But I think in the modern era, that's shifted. And what we started to do is appreciate art solely for the person's story. Initially, that was a good thing because, and I don't think this is the only reason at all, but initially it opened up, for, say, example, music, it opened it up so that we could appreciate music that wasn't made by straight Anglo-Saxon white males, which is a great thing initially because it pulled in a lot of great stuff that we weren't getting. But now we only focus. You look at a lot of the albums of the year lists, and it is solely about who the person is. It's and the distance they have from being a white Anglo-Saxon straight male. Anything else is suddenly valid. It's something like Pitchfork magazine. They just focus on female solo acts and American rappers and exclude a lot of great stuff. But I do my own list, and it's not only that. It's, I guess the number one factor has to be COVID, but it has been a really tepid year for films. I've seen some of the year's best films in the last week, and before that, when I was trying to do my sort of top 10, 15 films of the year, I was struggling. It's been a year with there's a lot of 8 out of 10s, but not many 9s. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why there's been this sort of I guess with the disassociation of COVID affecting many artists not being able to collaborate with who they normally do to tour, or maybe just not having the mental headspace that they normally do to make great albums. Last year I thought it was really good. That was a COVID year as well, but it's been a dire year across the board. And I think everything combines, and I think one of the things that's not causative, but is exacerbating it, is how we're elevating a lot of mediocre art at the moment because of who makes it. And I think that is going to have a more and more detrimental effect. Basically, your personal story defines how good your record is, and it shouldn't be like that. It should be like that to allow you in if your music's good, but it shouldn't shove other great music out because of who you are. Your gender, your lack of gender, anything like that. But anyway, that's a side issue because that's been the case for the last 5 years anyway, and it hasn't affected every year. So I think it's just a confluence of lots of different elements, particularly relating to the lockdowns deadening everything, and maybe that has had an impact on art all round. But even movies, it was a frankly dire year for movies as well. A lot of the films that are going to be in my top 10 list wouldn't normally have made it, I don't think. Like I said, there aren't many 9s. Anyway, I just thought I'd mention that. I don't know why. Because I'm doing my roundups of the year and I'm looking at everything going, is that it?